How many kids, Mom? 5 or 6?
This is the
7
treat home.
kids.
Griff is talking about the treat
7
home.
kids, and then Maggie lost her life in childbirth with the 7th. Is that right? Okay. And the family story is that Frank knew that she had passed away, and so he had left the kids at the house with the Mexican lady to babysit the kids, and that Grandma, being the oldest of all the daughters, was outside taking care of them. That they were playing in the dirt. They were playing, and so when you face the house, you want to look just to the right of the house and back about 10 yards to the side of the what was the original single-story house. Okay, and that's where Grandma Black was playing with the kids when Dad Treat came home. Frank came home and said, "Your mother just died." And then Frank went through this huge emotional turmoil. He said, "I can't deal with this." So what he did was he farmed all of his kids out. He gave all of his kids away to family and said, "You have to raise these kids for a while." And actually, that's anywhere between 2 years and 8 years. But eventually, he realized that he could not be in business and live alone. And so he asked Toady, the teenage daughter, to come home, and that's why Toady knew all the family history, because Toady came home and lived with him, but only for a short time. And then Aunt Sis came back, and Aunt Elizabeth came back and lived there for a while. And of course, Aunt Liz lived here longer than anybody. Aunt Liz went to California school. She came back here and lived with Aunt Asha after Sam died.
In this home,
in
but
this
not
house
in the
right
treat
here.
home, but in this home.
In this home, okay? And so this was Aunt Liz's second home right here. This was Aunt Liz's second home. Other thing about the treat home is the treat home has been through a whole bunch of renovations, and what you see now is just the shell. If you could go inside, you couldn't tell it anyway from what it was, because it was a single story when Frank lived there, because after his wife died, okay, after Maggie died, Frank went through this financial difficulty thing with and the Hugheses, because Sam Hughes literally quit financing 9 years before he actually died. And so I just tell him to Bruce this. And so for 9 years, literally, Sam lived off of his assets. And even though he was worth about $150,000 when he died, and this was a lot of money in those days, Sam was used to a very nice livelihood. Look where he lived. This was called Knob Hill right here.
Snob Hill.
Snob Hill, well,
Snob Hollow. Snob Hollow.
I know, but that's not a nice name. I've heard Snob Hollow, but the nice name from San Francisco is Knob Hill, because Knob Hill's where all the rich people live. Okay, and so Sam continued to live in his lifestyle, and about 5 years before he actually died, he was so poor he was going out living with other people. Aunt Asha said, "I'm not leaving." Aunt Asha stayed right here while Sam went all to LA and all these other different places living with kids and grandkids. Sam stayed right here. Aunt Asha did. Sam went. Okay, well, during that time, what happened to Treat was Treat then went through this financial thing because he had been in business with Sam. And so when Sam decided not to work anymore, okay, then the Treat had problems with some of the family, and so he moved out to Benson. Okay, when you see the Benson home. The reason why I tell you all of this is because when you see the house we're going to go see right now, the Treat house on the corner, where Aunt Sis was born, Aunt Elizabeth was born, where all of our family was born. Okay, Grandma Black, Toady was born there. Okay, all you see is the shell. The shell is the same. Since then, they've made it a second story. They then turned it into a market.
It's called the corner market. You can see.
And then the upstairs went into storage, and so all of the walls inside have been moved and changed many times over the last five generations or whatever, since that house was originally built. 3 generations to us, but the house was already there when Frank bought it. And the reason why he bought it is, who lived here? Aunt Asha, and you only go a block away, and that's where her daughter is. Maggie would not leave Mom, and that's one reason why Aunt Asha would not leave here when Sam decided to go to California. Aunt Asha said, "My babies are here, and this is where I will be." And so Sam took off with his backpack and the way he went. And Aunt Asha took care of the kids. So you're looking at that parlor right there, where more than just where Toady was taken care of. Most of our family was taken care of right here in that room. Okay, turn that thing off. Okay, look at the right-hand side and back about 10 yards, and that's where Toady was and Sis was. when Frank came back and said that your brother just died. Okay. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
This is the treat home. This is the street where all the kids would play out front, especially along this side and into the front. It was one story apparently at that time, and then was sold and turned into a market.
It's a Chinese market.
A Chinese market. So all the grandkids, great-great-grandkids are all standing where all the kids used to play. The sign says corner market, but under the corner market is wing market, W-I-N-G.
We who just suffered. Oh, was it?
Hey Cliff, turn around and give me a wave.